Okay, good afternoon everyone. A little bit early, but giving you a chance if you're already in to grab some equipment. Okay, this is a Hatha Restore class, not to be confused with Yin. Okay, so this is more about you just resting, breathing, lots of breath work. Whereas Yin's a little bit more going into our poses, going beyond the muscle into the ligaments, the tendons, and into the fascia. So we'll work with that maybe next week. But for today, it's a little bit cooler. So I want you to make sure, okay, blanket over the top of you, a towel, a pillow, or your bed pillow. So all of these can be used as bolsters or anything to just allow you to have that little bit more support rather than just lying flat on your mat. Okay, so here say would be, and I'm using the pillow, I've pulled the blanket and the towel underneath, and there I would be in my supported child pose. If I wanted to just have this little bolster, this is actually just a cushion, I could sit that underneath, okay, so I've straddled it, and then it can support my tummy, okay, as I go back towards my heels. So this will be one of your restorative poses, okay, so I want you to take your time, find what you need. If you haven't, as many of you won't have your own mats, a towel is fine. But just remember, we're not going to be moving around a lot. Most of it will be on your mat, resting and breathing. If you can, find your space to have your legs up the wall or a doorway, okay? Or you can also use your towel. Rolling it up, and then allowing this part of the towel to sit underneath your hips so it takes the pressure out of your hamstrings and your lower back so your legs can stay extended up there in the air quite happily. Make sure you've got a tissue or a hanky for the breath work or the breathing exercises that we're going to do, because quite often the nostrils will allow, sometimes there's some dryness and sometimes there's some moisture. So find as much supportive warmth as well as parts of maybe your bedding or your couches that you can allow yourselves to just support your body with. So give yourselves plenty of time. You've got a couple of minutes. Yeah, Rasha, how are you, my lovely girl? I'm giving you a wave. That is so cool. And also is like, I love telling stories. So in Hatha, I can read you a story, which is kind of cool. So I have got one story to read, and then the other will be Yoga Nidra. But Yoga Nidra is a little bit of difference as well. So once you're sorted, take your time, find your place. So if you're taking your legs up the wall, pop your blanket over the top of you. If you are taking your legs up the wall and you're really tight through your hamstrings to your lower backs, maybe roll up your towel, okay, and just pop that underneath your lower back to your hips, and that will also just take that little bit of pressure, especially if you're on a hard floor and a cold floor. Awesome. All right, so I'm hoping that you have settled. So remember, as we come to this place in a variation of your Shavasana or your corpse pose or your starfish pose, If you haven't got that access to a door, to a wall, feel free to just lie in either of those poses as well. So there's no right or wrong. It's really now to make sure, number one, you're warm, and then that you're comfortable, because without that warmth, if your body cools down too much, you won't be able to relax. And the whole purpose of our practice this afternoon is to allow you time to relax. And we're going to start that now. So in whatever position that you have found, close your eyes and allow yourselves to withdraw everything that is happening around us. Not just your home that you're in, but what's happening on the outside of your home. And then go further out in what's happening to our world. Now, just let all of that stuff, and I'll call it stuff right now, sit in its place as you bring your attention and your awareness to yourself. You're just going to listen. You're going to observe. What do you feel? How do you feel? And be okay with that emotion that might be coming to the surface. And find your breath. Follow your inhale. Follow your exhale. So creating a journey already using the breath and travelling through the body as you breathe in all of that air through your nostrils, all of that energy and oxygen into your lungs, and you feel it being transported through the whole of your body. Now, for those of you that may have just come in, just remember warmth and comfort. Making sure that when you've placed your body, you can allow yourselves to be for a couple of minutes actually, while I read you a story. This comes from, I would say, probably one of my most inspirational teachers and guides over the time. Her name is Beryl Birch. So the story begins one time in Colorado around about 1979, and used to be going back a wee while. I was supposed to meet a real estate agent at her home in the little foothill town of Evergreen, just outside of Denver. We were going together to look at a house that I was thinking of renting. So I knocked on her front door, but nobody was home. So I walked around to the back of the house. Her German Shepherd was tied out in a dog run in the backyard. I immediately went over to the dog and sat on the back porch with him. He licked my face, rubbed his head and shoulders, and we had a short conversation. After 5 minutes or so, I walked back around to the front of the woman's house. She came out through the front door, her face completely white, and she was aghast. "Oh my God," she said, "I can't believe what just happened. I saw you out the back with my dog. I was afraid to say anything. He is a very mean dog. He attacks everyone. I can't believe he didn't rip you to shreds. I was terrified to say anything. If I had come out, he might have gone nuts. It's unbelievable. I've never seen him like that with anyone. Come in, let's go out the back and visit him." "Are you crazy?" "This is me." "No way, not on your life was I about to go back out and talk with that dog." I was now scared to death of him, and absolutely sure he would bite me the minute he saw me. My whole energy field had changed. And dogs know these things. How do they know? I have spent hours pondering this, and this is what I figured out. This is so relevant. The emotion we carry must have a material presence to it somehow. It must create a field of some kind. It must have motion. Emotion must have motion. It must be some form of energy that sort of blows over to the animal. How else could they know this? How do they pick up the vibe? What is a vibe? But atoms and molecules group together as a result of their attraction for one another. Moving along, floating, gliding, rocketing along through space. Thought then must be pure energy. And you have a thought and it rockets over to this receiving station, being the dog. And he pulls it in and returns like energy. Energy attracts energy. So no way would I go see that dog again. When I first approached him, his meanness had no authority over me because I was 100% innocent and trusting. Now I was nervous, uncertain, fearful, and tentative. Everything had changed. He had absolute authority over me now. It's a story about the German Shepherd dog. I want you just to remain in the place where you are right now and let that story slowly dissolve. And the story is no more. As you allow yourself to step deeper into your body, now listening for your breath, now trusting, now letting go of fear, and breathe in energy that's light and love and compassion for self. And let go of all of that other stuff that you may have been sensing, may have been feeling, and let it release, dissolve. Take 5 more big breaths, breathing in and then breathing out through your nose. Awesome. When you're ready, just take your time. Some of us breathe that nice, long, smooth breath. And some of us are adapting to how we are connecting the inhale and the exhale. So when you're ready, just draw your knees into your chest and give yourselves a really big hug. Your breath work to follow. Sit on your pillow, your cushion, maybe wrap your blanket around your shoulders if you're a little bit cool. You can sit cross-legged, you can sit back on your heels, wherever you sit. Now this is important now, because we want to take this breath from the belly and we want to feel it shift, okay, to fill up our lungs. You need to be sitting upright and not to be slouching. So feel your lift and feel that energy that you have now brought back into your body. So the first breath exercise we're going to do this afternoon is single nostril breathing, okay? So alternate nostril breathing after we've set this up. Why do I do single nostril breathing? It tells me and gives me a lot of information what's actually happening with the air that's moving up through my nostrils. Is one nostril taking more air than the other? Is one side a little bit congested or blocked? So that when we come through the alternate nostril breathing, we hope to change that so we've got as much clearness coming through both nostrils as possible. Now, because I'm looking directly at you, just remember, if you're right-handed, it's your Right thumb on your right nostril. If you're left-handed, it's your left thumb on your left nostril. And because I'm mirror imaging you, I'm just going to allow myself to just use my right thumb on my right nostril. So you'll be doing the opposite if you're right-handed. So you can have your hand, and you can create a little soft fist as your fingers just come into the palm of your hand. Your other hand can sit on your belly or on your thigh. And you close off this nostril, so you take 4 breaths in and out through your left nostril only. Now, try and close your eyes as you do this. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Now, when you release the thumb from your nostril and you bring it maybe back to your thigh, you might find that that nostril is now moist. So feel free to wipe that nostril. Both hands can sit either on your thighs or hands to the belly. You close your eyes and you take 4 full belly breaths. Breathe in, feel the fullness. Breathe out and surrender to anchor down into the earth. Breathe back in and breathe out. With each breath, make an intention. Keep the intention for self. One more breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Take your time. Again, sitting hands on thighs. Readjusting your body if you need to, shoulders, lower backs, and then bring your left thumb to your nostril. Small fist, or you can have half a prayer hand if you wish. Elbow down, shoulders relaxed. 4 breaths, breathe in and breathe out. 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 Again, when you remove the thumb from that nostril, it might not be moist, it might be moist. You might need to blow your nose. Now take your time if you do, and then sit quietly, hands to the belly, hands to the thighs, and take 4 more breaths. Again, because we all are breathing at different lengths, take your time as you come back. If you're sitting cross-legged now and you feel that you need to change, and often when we sit cross-legged, we always sit cross-legged in one position because it's the most comfortable, and then we sit on the other and it says, whoa, okay, I don't think so. So again, use that prop of your cushion or your pillow if you have it. If you're just sitting flat down onto the floor, shake your legs out and bring them back in to feel comfortable, because you need now to be comfortable as we work through your alternate nostril breathing. Again, I'm using my right hand first, and to make it easier, okay, I place the thumb on my right nostril if you are right-handed. The thumb of the left hand is on your left nostril if you're left-handed. I take my index finger and I bring it to my left nostril. So you can see I've created that small but soft fist, fingers into the palm of the hand. And generally, if we were in traditional and it was a mudra, it was a little bit different, but this is a little bit more comfortable. Elbow down, shoulders relaxed, and sitting up nice and supported. So we'll release the thumb and we'll breathe in. Listening to your breath now, and you'll know when you're ready to breathe out. So it's kind of like a simultaneous reaction movement here. The thumb goes back on the nostril and your finger releases from your left nostril, or your right, as the case might be, and you breathe out. Now the side you just breathed out through, you'll breathe back in through. And it's kind of like this little pause before you're ready to breathe out. So plenty of time for the finger to go back to the nostril and the thumb to release this time. Good. So breathing back in through that nostril you've just taken the breath out through. And then when you're ready, the thumb goes back on, the finger releases, and you breathe out. Breathing back in. Listening for the breath. The finger returns to the nostril, your thumb releases, and you breathe out. Now, close your eyes and see if you can take 4 more breaths in your own time. In. Change over to the other side, out. Back in through the same side. Finger returns, thumb releases, out. Now that's 1 breath. Take your time, 3 more in your own time. Really encourage the inhale as you're breathing in without sniffing. And don't catch yourself opening your mouth and breathing through your mouth. A smoothness of your belly gently rising. A surrendering, and now it's not about anything else but you now transporting all of this energy throughout your body. So come back to that intention of your body, your health, your energy. Now, if you started this exercise breathing in through your left nostril, you'll finish breathing out through the left nostril. If you began bringing your breath in on your right nostril, then you'll finish breathing out on your right nostril. When you're finished, your hands can sit on your thighs, hands to the belly, and now just observe. The sense and the fulfillment of this energy as it travels through our body, to allow our bodies to feel light, as in the lightness physically, but more importantly, when our mind's clear and we are now closer connected back into our bodies, this is the light, this is the peacefulness. And then quietly open your eyes. And then just relax. All right, so all of that sitting around needs a little bit of movement. So just take your time here. We're going to allow ourselves to just move wherever, whatever you've been on. Take tabletop. And we'll just first of all move into cat-cow. So we want this energy to shift. So think of its fluidity as we want it to transport through the body. So chin to chest, navel to spine, working through the whole body. And try not to collapse as you come out of one place and into the other. So feel where your body is the strongest. Feel where it's the most flexible. But remember, flexible can be disconnection as well. So I want you to be strong and connected rather than falling apart with a looseness that doesn't allow you to maintain the strength. As you feed your breath with that fullness of your breathing, feed your body with your breath. And then once you're in cat pose, take your time to tuck your toes under and into downward facing dog we go. Now, we're just going to use this basically as a big stretch. Pushing down, driving up, driving back, and delivering that body. Feel that energy up from the earth all the way through. And then we can look out. Good. We can look over to the side. Yes. We can look over to the other side. Yes. We can look back to the feet. Oh, awesome. And we can really surrender the back and the shoulders and let the earth give you the strength. Let it move and shift all the way through your body. If you can maintain here, fine. If you need to come down to tabletop, that's cool. But try and encourage a little bit more work through your body and feel the warmth of the energy that we've found with our breath. And then we'll return to tabletop. All right, so resting. I'm lucky enough to have a bolster, and I'll set a couple of variations up for you. You can imagine this with your pillows and your blankets, okay? And I've managed to bring this just to the inside of my thighs. Now, because of my body, okay, I can find my way down and completely rest here. And this is what you need to be able to find. You might have to move whatever you've got up a little bit, and then maybe the hips are a little bit higher, and then you just bring your head to the side, and you've got your arms bent so your elbows are on the floor here to support you. Make sure that you haven't created a back bend here. Make sure that you're fully engaged to allow yourself to be here for a good 5 minutes. Halfway through, you'll turn your head. And so it's important that you play around here. You've got plenty of time. Your chest can be resting on your pillows. This is where it's quite nice because you can have maybe a pillow from your couch and the pillow from your bed, and you can even fold your pillow over. So I want you to just take your time and find that resting place. And this is where it is a shame that I can't see you so that I could come around and adjust accordingly. So have the hips open and allow yourself to have the elbows to the side. Now, if you haven't got any equipment, okay, that's also fine. So you might be here and here, but I might suggest that you might have brought your towel in. And see, I've just taken it to an angle so the whole side of my face can rest on the towel. So you want all of your weight to be even here so you're not falling forward. And remember, we're always working our way back towards the hips, over the hips, and down towards the heels. So you keep that nice, strong physical connection so that you can take that opportunity to now breathe. So if you need to move around, that's fine. Just to change sides, change the head, think about how your neck feels, how your shoulders feel. Now the importance here is when we're in a restorative pose, that you allow your mind to stay clear, not to wander off and think, oh my goodness gracious me, I think I really need to go and do my groceries now. These are all things that pop into our heads. This is just norm, okay? So we're trying now to really filter out all of that stuff that we don't need to think about now. So this is about looking after your body and letting your body have time for recovery and for repair. So just enjoy. See if you can take this full breath. In through your nose, out through your nose. In through your nose, out through your nose. And take your time just to enjoy being. Now, if you're cooling down, your blanket can go over your back because we're focusing on the lungs here as well. So just make sure that your outer room temperature isn't cooling your body down too much. You'll have another downward facing dog to redirect this energy. Sound of the chimes, just allowing you to just deepen your rest, letting go of all those unwanted thoughts. Count 5 more breaths. Notice the change in your breathing now. As we work through and we develop this really strong connection of breath to body, everything smooths out and we don't actually have to really do anything. We've come in with intention and suddenly you find that your body is adapting to do what it wants and needs to do without force, and giving yourselves that time and permission to rest and developing that really strong connection to your breath. So the gong of the crystal bowl will bring you out of your child pose. So when you return, and take your time coming back into tabletop. Good. And again, to get all of that energy flowing through the body, we'll take this into extended puppy. So forward go the arms. Good. Hips staying up and back over those knees. And then leaning that chest down to the ground. Now, watch this as this comes into your cat pose. We lift up, drawing the navel to the spine. We pull the chin towards the chest. And all this I've done is just given those arms a little bit more extension to the front of your mat, allowing the chest and the shoulders to just let go a little bit as we bring the chest back down to the ground. So see where you need to go as we push down and we start to lift up. Drawing navel to spine and chin to your chest. Back into extended puppy. And if you can get really deep, just allow the chin to sit on the floor. One more time, lifting all the way up. And then releasing all the way back down. Now when you come out of extended puppy, make sure you push down into the earth, feel your body lift up, and walk your hands back in. Awesome. Alright, so the equipment that you had just before for your child pose, okay, bring it back in now, okay, and I'll demonstrate here. So I'm going to use my towel, use another towel, and so we're setting up bridge, okay, with just a little bit of support. So the two towels are fine, okay, because when I go down here, my hips are still going to be slightly higher than my shoulders, and that's the whole idea. So I want the hips to be higher so our blood flow can go back to the heart, and of course, where we take the legs is entirely up to you. If you're feeling supported enough, then you can go into crossing your legs at your ankles. You can allow these to come into butterfly, and that'll allow you to open the hips. So this is really, really comfortable. So you don't have to build up too high. Just make sure that you've got enough support underneath your hips to your lower back. So sacrum, lower back, and hips, so that you can allow those legs to be in a comfortable place. Here's another nice one as well. Sometimes it's nice to have a leg extended, and this would be lying tree pose. So you can have one ankle sitting on your thigh, and this really is dependent on how tight your hips are. So if you were to come into butterfly and that felt a little bit uneven, and then as you allowed yourself, now the foot on the top of the thigh so that you don't roll off the hips, if that foot needs to go to the floor and you feel even through the hips, then that's fine. But just make sure you feel, again, where you're the most comfortable. So not a lot of equipment. I've just used basically just two towels to give you just enough support, especially for those of you that have got those fairly beautiful spines that create that nice extension. So come to rest once you again feel that your bodies are in that comfortable place. So remember, you're lying on your back. Make sure that your hips are slightly higher than your shoulders. So the shoulders ultimately you want to have sinking down into the floor. But it's the blood flow that I'm interested in now. If you don't want to have hips open and you feel, okay, so I'm going to be more comfortable, even though your legs might not necessarily be up the door or up the wall, you can just allow your legs to extend. They can be crossed here if you want. Good. They can be in butterfly here if you feel even more comfortable here. And it's amazing what happens when we shorten here and give the lower end, as in your back and your hips, that little bit more support. Those legs can be fully extended or you can have them open. Good. So come to that place. We come back to the breath. And again, if you're feeling a little bit cool, wrap that blanket around you. And then after this pose, I will move you so that we can feel that flow of energy that we've now and should hopefully feel pumping around your body. We will be able to utilize, but not to undo, all of the work restoring and being able to have our bodies just relax just for a wee while, mind and body. Remember to breathe that full breath in through your nose. That intention to allow that breath to find its way throughout the whole of your body. Remember, our breath can warm us, it can cool us. Take the breath to that deepest level of self, at that cellular level. Take 5 more breaths. Now, what happens through our restoring practice is often the body's changing from using those adrenals, the head that was pumping and kind of like trying to work out all of that stuff. Suddenly all of that is kind of like dissolved and your body will start to feel a little bit washed out or tired. However, on the other side of that, often after and when you start to move around, which we'll do shortly, we're recharging you but in a different way. So it's not like going outside an hour running for 5Ks. So the energy that we have now found in our restoring way, we will now start to move through our body, through our yoga work. So one more dong to bring you back. Now don't rush this process either, by the way, and you're only coming up to sit. So sit in your staff pose, good. And of course, all of that needs some twisting and some moving around. So we'll start with bringing the left leg over the right, and we'll keep the right leg extended for the purpose of turning our torso to bring your left arm to the inside of your left leg. And then if you allow the leg and the arm to kind of like have that little bit of resistance against each other, you can lift up, good. Anchor into your sitting bones, turn that torso and see if you can extend your right arm. Now close your eyes, follow your nose and take one big breath in and out. You bring the arm down, we'll release, and we'll come all the way back around. So let's take the legs as wide as your mat and come forward. Now I want you to scoop here to roll, okay? Thinking about the spine when we were surrendering in child pose. So allow everything to surrender back down to the ground. Tuck your chins in and then just allow your arms to go wherever. So no pulling, no pushing, just letting go. So say, as for example, that you saw what I was doing and you went, oh my goodness gracious me. So you can pull your towels in, you can roll them up as much as you like. And so allow your belly to come here and rest. And if that's where you're going to go, that's as far as you're going to go, then just tuck your head in, but don't drop your head. So think shoulders to head, and then just allow yourself to remain there. If you've come this far, and you suddenly think, well, actually, my head, I can't maintain here. So you need to tuck that chin in, and there goes your forehead sitting on your toes. We roll back out as we rolled down. So I'll come around now to the other side. Right leg crossing over left. Foot as far down that leg as you need. You come forward, you rotate, right arm to the inside of the leg. And if you come down the leg, the elbow stays soft and you're now below your knee. Resistance, just nice resistance. And then we sit back, find sitting bones, We rotate to open, and then up goes the left arm. Close your eyes, soften your eye gaze, and follow your nose. Remember to breathe here, in and out, through the nose. We bring the arm down, we come around nice and slowly. We shuffle our body up to the top, well, toes to the top of the mat. We roll down through the spine. So the floor should feel divine, okay? So you anchor your feet and you start to scoop and lift up your hips. And then just allow yourself to enjoy your bridge pose. Arms can be out the back, out to the side. So that beautiful line, hips up here, shoulders down here, and again, finding that beautiful flow. And create this real powerful bridge. And then when we come down, just bring the arms back. Just come down from the top to the bottom. And then we'll just roll over to the side gently. We'll come back to tabletop. And you'll come back to downward facing dog. So tuck your toes under and let's see how this feels now. Head in, head out. Looking off to the right and looking off to the left. Looking back out to the front. Looking out for the feet. Looking over to the left. And looking over to the right. Come back to the center to find your place. And take 5 breaths. Pushing down. Feel the energy surging up from the earth. So the great thing is it's moving from the earth through your body. And you can create a circle because it goes over the hips and down the legs and back to your feet and back into the ground. And then as you pick up another surge, it's taken up through the hands and the arms and through the body, the front, the back and the sides, the top and the bottom. And then to all fours. Beautiful. Now, we're going to probably run out of time, okay? We would generally, in a class situation for myself, this would be a 1.5-hour class. So we've only got about 45 minutes. I want you now to find your way to make your body as comfortable as possible. Lying back down in your full Shavasana, corpse pose, or if you want to, just come in to your starfish. You can lie on your side, you can lie on your belly, as long as you found a place now, and feel the warmth of your body. We haven't done a lot. We've just regenerated all the stuff that was kind of like locked up, hanging around, and now we've pulled it back out for ourselves. So find that place now. And we might, if my clock's running a tiny little bit fast, we might get a little bit of your yoga nidra. We won't get it all. So just remember here that we're maintaining to keep ourselves inside our bodies. We're listening and being really conscious of what's happened, what's transitioned, how we felt and how we feel. Can you allow yourselves now to feel this flow of breath that's life? And bring your awareness to the natural flow of all of the energy systems of our body. We have the cardiovascular and circulatory system. We have the endocrine system. We have the respiratory system. We have our central nervous system. And each of our systems requires attention. And how lucky are we to have so many working in harmony for most of the time? To the lymphatic system. Hundreds of lymph nodes in our body. So see if you can create a shield around your body. All of the attackers cannot penetrate because of the shield that you have surrounded yourself with. But the shield now, you need to allow it to soften and pull it into the inside of your body and shield all of your systems. So that no little attackers can find their way in, so that the harmony continues as our body works together. So let's be grateful, respect and listen, to pay attention to maintain this flow of vitality and vibrancy and our body's well-being. Then in this moment, fall into a place of trust and confidence in the natural flow of your body, of life. Now I'm pretty sure that you're not going to just get cut out here, so I'm trusting that this video will continue until you can each make your way up to sit. Now again, just being really aware of your bodies have been and how they're feeling. And don't rush out and grab a glass of wine or a coffee. Make sure you drink plenty of water after this practice this afternoon. Now if you've come back to sit, whoever, how many of you are out there, I hope you enjoyed your restorative practice this afternoon. It can be yin next Friday if you wish. Sunday's class will certainly be a flow. So let's bring hands to prayer to the heart centre. Let's bow our heads and again be grateful, but importantly to say thank you to our body, to honour breath and life together and stay strong together. And when you're ready, if you can open your eyes, bring your heads back to sit on your shoulders. Namaste. Hope you all enjoyed your practice this afternoon, and I look forward to hoping that many of you will find your way back here on Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. So you guys are here, so make sure you share the University Recreation Centre app and all the technology that we have been allowed to have in our bubbles. Namaste.